What's happening, everybody? Here we go. Too much fantasy football coming at you again. It's Brian, it's Brennen, and it's time for the NFC West breakdown. Four teams, couple of good ones, couple of bad ones, and so many questions we're here to answer for you. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's summertime, which means football's around the corner, but it also means the heat is right here with us. Currently, 98 degrees outside.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun
No.
at all. I got stuck having to change my brakes just a few hours ago, so I came in dripping, absolute dripping sweat. My wife's like, "Oh, you all done?" No, I ran into a hiccup. I'm about to go start. So yeah, I'm hating this heat. Cannot wait for the football time. And hey, nothing like breaking into some divisional teams here. Really figuring out what we're doing as far as these are to kick off the end of summer. So, without further ado, you ready to get rolling?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Folks, we're going to Los Angeles to talk about the Rams here. Number one in this division. They finished last year at 10-7. 9.5 is their over under this year. I mean, just first impressions here. We had quite a bit happen with this team, but as far as their strength of schedule goes, just the outlook of this team, we've got offensive coordinator, head coach retention there. So I mean, really nothing you should be too scared about.
Yeah, I mean, Sean McVay's the play caller at the end of the day, so there's no fear, no worries. Like, this team was last year, like, oh, they could be a playoff team. They'll kind of sneak in, and really, they were a play away from going to the Super Bowl, if we're going to be honest, or going to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, just kind of faltered there right before making it to it. And this team, it started off horribly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this was not a team that we thought was going to make the playoffs. This kind of topsy-turvy with the whole thing because the 49ers fell off completely too. So for a while, the Seahawks were kind of the front runner potentially. Like, could they be the division winners here? But the Rams got it together, sixth in offensive success rate. So that's kind of the bread and butter of this team. Defense is coming around. They hit some late round gems that I think this defense should be a lot better in the post Aaron Donald world.
Yeah, I thought when they lost Aaron Donald, I was like, oh, they're going to take a step back. But they lucked out with their first two picks in Jared Verse and then Braden Fisk, who Jared Verse is probably on his way to be another dominant player. I mean, shoot, when they talked about the offensive tackle who just retired, like, why is he considering it? He said Jared Verse is one of the reasons why I'm retiring. So, kudos to them for hitting on the head. I mean, yeah, and this team just does everything right by the books when it comes to just spending properly. Always, they spend for needs instead of wants and everything else like that. Obviously, they have Stafford under contract, and they went and they got, honestly, in my opinion, one of the best free agents possible in Devontae Adams. So, and now he's playing alongside Puka Nacua.
It's a sweet little setup there, and as much as the defense they hit on the front seven there, ranked 29th is the secondary. And goodness, if there's something I like to pair with an offense for fantasy, it's a crappy secondary. It's an ability to let the other team score so that the Rams have to get back right in there. Only 42.9% of their series reach third down, seventh best in the NFL. So offense knows how to stay on the field. Cooper Kupp, is he dust? Is he trash? I don't know. They sent him out of here, sent him to Seattle. We'll talk about him here in a little bit. And they brought in Devontae Adams, a guy who knows how to find the end zone, something Cooper Kupp did quite a bit. So as far as the touchdown and the yards kind of player, we could see a nice little 1-2 punch. And I think it's easy to say that we're going to see 50% of the targets go to those two players and those two players alone in this offense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Puka last year, I think he was at like almost 30% of the target share. That definitely is going to take a hit with obviously Devontae coming into town. And, Puka was, I mean, I don't know how many touchdowns he had last year. I expect Devontae Adams to definitely eat into that because he is very much a red zone machine. I do like some of the guys they drafted this year. Obviously, we're big fans of Jarquez Hunter. Terrence Ferguson stole the combine night. He was one of the best ones out there. Yeah, this team's on the up and up for sure.
So while we're talking about the tight end, unfortunately, they were only 15% of the targets went to the tight end position last year, ranked 28th in the NFL. Not great. We've heard McVay talk in this offseason about them transitioning the tight end a little bit more in this offense. I think with them having kind of a weaker wide receiver core past Adams, I think that's a possibility. They did extend Tutu Atwell, the number 3 there. Jordan Whittington had a pretty decent rookie year for as late of a pick as he was.
Yeah.
But as far as Tyler Higbee, are you kicking the tires on that at all? I guess it's more in the best ball talk when we're talking about the tight end here because these guys are ultimately going to be streamers. But I don't know if I'm buying into the Terrence Ferguson this year.
I would rather buying on Ferguson than I am going to be buying in on Higbee. I think I like Ferguson's tape out of college from Oregon. I thought, and his draft capital too alone is great. I think he's what, second round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was the second. We had quite a few early tight ends this year.
Yeah, like I think Sean McVay probably sees what he can do in this offense, kind of utilize him as also be like an every down kind of a snap tight end. So I think he'll be on the field a lot more later in the season. I don't think I'm going to stream any of these guys when it comes down to it, just because for whatever reason Sean McVay's never had a reliable tight end. So maybe he's hoping Terrence Ferguson can be that for his future endeavors, but. I don't think Stafford's ever really favored the tight end either, and so I'd rather have a piece of like honestly I'd rather have Tutu Atwell than Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah, if we're talking just in a vacuum, I think I'd agree
Yeah,
with you there. Going forward, I am excited about Ferguson. I think this is the most athletic tight end that we've seen with Sean McVay. Gerald Everett was one of the first, I think, draft picks that he ever took. Sean McVay was, and it just didn't quite pan out. We streamed him a little bit, but I think Ferguson has potential to be maybe one of those guys in the top 7 to 10 that we look at next year, but this year it's kind of out. The big questions, I think, are really the running back position. Kyren Williams goes anywhere from like running back 8 to 14, 16, depending on the platform you're looking at. And with all the inefficiencies when we came down to like the big metrics for him last year, we've talked about Jarquez Hunter. The very same build. We saw Corum get taken in the draft last year. All three of these guys are built the exact same. Biggest difference is the explosive plays that you get out of Jarquez Hunter. Oh my gosh, lost the name there. We're just talking about him. So, Kyren Williams, are you spending the capital on him? Are you afraid of Hunter, or is it more just a culmination of things, not necessarily Hunter in general, that's scaring you off?
he's RB 11 for me if I'm not mistaken. So he's in my first tier group. Like again, we were so scared of Rams running backs just because obviously Sean McVay made his comment after Todd Gurley saying I'm never going to extend a running back ever again. He made it very, very clear. Now there's open talks between them and Kyren if it give him a nice extension. So I have no fears of Kyren. I think he had like almost 20 attempts for the red zone, got 11 rushing touchdowns. I I'm okay with Kyren. Like I'm not gonna. I like Jarquez Hunter, but like everyone keeps forgetting about Blake Corum too. I know he didn't set the world on fire when he had his chances. Like also we need to also remind ourselves Jarquez was taken in the 6th round. Like we like him, but remember the Rams were not. Was it
I think
fourth?
he was the fourth round. He was a day.
I know it was a day 3 pick.
I thought he was the fourth round. I'll double check that and vet that. But yeah, I didn't think he was sixth.
Okay.
Either way, though, you were saying.
Yeah, I think it's just I think people are automatically assuming that Jarquez is just going to overtake Blake Corum. We just don't know that yet, and so like it kind of makes me lean towards Blake Corum a little bit towards best ball purposes, just because everyone has these hunches and it just never works out for any of us to be honest. But I think my biggest question of this group though is Puka Nacua. He gives me the Sunday scaries.
Before we slide away, Hunter was a fourth round pick. Just throwing
Okay,
that out there.
all right.
But yeah, I think this was a guy I was waiting to kind of chat about. Devontae Adams, I've heard people talk about is the age too much. I'm okay leaning into him just as far as the touchdowns go. Puka Nacua, this is a guy I don't quite have as my wide receiver one. One of the easiest, not top 3 guys I've ranked that I think could finish as number 1. Puka Nakua's metrics, his yards per route run, what he does with the ball out there, it's absolutely incredible. The hardest part is just, does he stay out there on the field long enough, So I am completely okay with going big for Puka Nacua, but you get your reservations with him.
Yeah, it's just I think it's more so the fact that I think Devonte Adams showed that he still has it. The cliff wasn't there last season. Like the reason why his production dip was just he was on the Jets. Like I'm sorry, Jets fans. It's just they weren't a good team overall. Like there's nothing that showed me like like he's on a decline. Like no, he still has it. Still a good route runner. Um, and I think he's gonna be. I think Devonte Adams is gonna be the red zone machine here, and I think Puka will attack the middle of the field. So I think obviously touchdowns are worth more than receiving yards in my opinion. So I just think I think Devonte Adams is a little more. I think where Devonte Adams is going, I like that more than where Puka is going because like you and I both agreed after the first 6 picks in most drafts in single quarterback leagues, like you can make the argument for Puka at 107. I can't fault you for that. I just would feel a little weird taking him at 107, but he's gone there before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay spinning it. It's kind of 109, 109, 110, 108, depending on where you're out there. He's going about wide receiver 4 across the platforms. I'm okay spinning it. It's it's scary. It definitely is. But because have we gotten a full season out from outside of his rookie year? Did he finish his rookie year?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm okay rolling the dice with Puka. I think he is a. What do you call him, a dark horse to finish at number one? Can you really call wide receiver 4 a dark horse there? But
Yeah, it's
just
hard.
with all the hype on Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CD Lamb, it's hard for him to get in that conversation sometimes. And I'm just here saying, let's do it.
Yeah.
Running backs, we've talked about them a little bit. The tight ends, Matthew Stafford, he's a streaming quarterback for me at best. As hyped as I am over these 2 wide receivers, I can't really say I'm drafting Stafford anywhere, especially with those first couple of games. Kind of same page with him.
Yeah, Stafford's just like he's going to get you 200 plus yards, 2 touchdowns, maybe an interception in there, 0 rushing yards. I think his line every year is like 1.5. So he's just, and I don't even know if I want him as like QB2 in Superflex. I just think like there's other options I value a little bit more. He's very much near the end. Like if I had to rank that on a per basis.
Yeah, first 2 games, they get Houston and Tennessee, and then after that, 3 of their next 4, Philly, Indy, San Francisco, and Baltimore. So 3 really tough games in there in the first 6.
Yeah.
All right, they are at 9.5 wins. Who do you have? Where do you have them? Over or under?
I gotta go with over, man. I like Sean McVay. I don't know if we touched on this before, but I think if there was a pool for draft for head coaches, I think he'd be the 101. And so like it's just hard to bet against him.
I think we're gonna have to do that draft. We might be doing that draft here, folks.
I'd be down for that, but I still think my take stands of Sean McVay being 101.
He'd be easy top 3 for me. Absolutely.
He's not 3.
He's not 3. 9.5. Give me the over. I like it too.
Yeah.
It seems like easily obtainable for them.
What's funny is though, Jimmy Garoppolo is the backup quarterback, and Devontae Adams I think hates Jimmy Garoppolo. So
he does. He freaking does. It's a little funny. Like Matthew Stafford, we've seen him get knocked out of several games, so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. Let's head up north. Let's go to Seattle. Let's go into the nest. It's a 7.5 wins is their projection. 10-7 last year were the Seahawks. Not a bad showing for first-year coach Mike Macdonald. Fired the OC that they brought in from Washington. Clint Kubiak from New Orleans comes to town as the new OC. This team, quite the overhaul. They traded for Cooper. No, Cooper Kupp came in free agency.
Free agent. They traded away DK Metcalf.
And traded away Geno Smith while picking up Sam Darnold in free agency. Well, quite a bit happened at this team. They stayed busy. So let's start with the running backs here. Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet, Damian Martinez was drafted, I believe, in the 6th or 7th round, the rookie. But it's the top 2 guys that we're really looking at here. Give me your thoughts on these running backs.
I'm still in on Ken Walker. Like everyone gets scared because he hasn't played. He just keeps getting injured. But like his injuries aren't anything that were like, oh, it's a pulled hamstring. It just happened to be like a knee injury or anything else like that. So like those type of injuries don't necessarily scare me off anymore. It's just when he plays though, man, he is just good at the end of the day. Like he is elite in every metric possible. Like I'm all in on Ken Walker. If he keeps falling on draft night, I'm probably going to be snagging him a lot.
Yeah, we haven't quite gone over our my guys yet. We haven't filled out the sign, like all the stuff for those. But Ken Walker is in contention for a running back my guy this year. I've never been fully in on him. He's a guy I'll take if the draft falls to me that way. But I haven't really given him a second thought this year. A contract year for the guy. I'm excited. I am ready to go all in on this fellow. ADP RB16. Yeah, I'm okay with a guy that I've kind of got flirting with RB1 numbers. If he stays healthy, it's kind of hard for them not to. This is a team that was 5th in rushing yards last year, and now they bring in Clint Kubiak. They bring in a guy that was so incredibly efficient, brought in so much motion. This is somebody from the Shanahan tree. If you're looking at expected fantasy points for the running backs, going back to since 2020, 1. Christian McCaffrey's number 1 at 0.31. Number 2 is Clint Kubiak's running back 1 at 0.3. Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs, David Canales' RB1 comes in after that. So Ken Walker is set up for so much success this year. If we can keep him healthy, which you got to bet on those healthy seasons every now and then. Sometimes the guys just pop up. Saquon Barkley, what happened? Injury. You bet on him. You finally paid off that last year. So give me a team that should absolutely crush this year.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things where you bet on the player, you don't bet on the injuries. You bet on the player to be good.
Yeah.
And so I'm betting on him to be good. And like people forget, he's also like he's got a good receiving profile too. He does a little bit of everything, and that's why like it's a little more enticing with him too.
19% target share to the running backs. That was 8th most last
Love
year
it.
for the Seahawks. And with Clint Kubiak, I imagine it's going to go up just that much more. Zach Charbonnet probably is the best handcuff in the league right now. I feel like we've kind of moved away as far as a fantasy community drafting handcuffs consistently, but if there was one, I think he's at least top 3 in that conversation as far as handcuffs go.
Yeah, I would say it's him. The backup to Aaron Jones out of the Vikings. I'm drawing a blank.
Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason would be in there, and then I don't even know who the other guy. You can make an argument for a couple of guys, but yeah, that's where I'm sitting at.
He's in that conversation. I mean, we've seen him do it, I guess, is the big thing.
That's the thing is we've seen Zach Charbonnet when he gets the role, he takes a full advantage of it though.
Yeah, Braylon Allen we got excited for the Jets last year, and Breece Hall could get hurt, but like, can Braylon Allen actually do it? We know Zach Charbonnet can, so yeah. I think that's the thing you lean on here. Wide receiver room, we saw Jackson Smith and Jigba break out in year 2 despite having Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf on the team. Now you bring in a possibly washed Cooper Kupp to the team. MVS, granted, folks, most of we are not quite looking for best ball stuff here, but MVS has been one of my favorite best ball picks. Clint Kubiak loved to throw it deep to him a few times a game, so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. We saw Jordan Addison connect with Sam Darnold last year, so just as far as a last round dart throw, I've been messing with MVS a bit.
You know what's funny is that like I think Packers fans just absolutely hate MVS, and like they just said he's the worst thing ever. And it's just funny how he went to the Chiefs and got a couple Super Bowls and left. But yeah, I'm out on MVS. There will never draft MVS in my lifestyle. And
redraft, absolutely not drafting. That was
even in best
ball plug.
Yeah, not even in best ball. I think he's just bad. But like,
not even in best ball.
It's crazy when you like. Obviously, JSN. Do we think we're overhyping him a little bit?
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility when I look at my best ball exposure to him. I don't mind the pick there, but I don't really love it.
So when I look at last year, right, his rankings, it was week 1, 76 overall, then week 2, 9. Then after that, it's 59, 40, 30, 40, 60, 42. Then week 9, he goes back to 1. And then he's a follow-up a nice couple weeks. But then in week 17 and 18, it's 67 and 82 of the rankings.
That week 9, it was the week before their bye week too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember being on a live stream, people like, should I drop JSN this week because he's in a bye week next week, and it's like it's done. And I was telling people, look, if you got to do what you got to do, you got to do. I almost dropped him. I lucked out and held on to him. But yeah, it was absolutely atrocious what you had, but he finished on fire. Granted, that's kind of what happens in a breakout. You know, you can't always time it for the full season, but right now he's going sandwiched between like T. Higgins, Tyreek Hill's just before him, McLaurin, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. I like Adams, Wilson, and Marv, I think, over JSN, especially with the price baked in just a little bit.
All those names you said, I think I'd take all of them before I take JSN, to be honest with you. I honestly, like, I think I'd rather take Mike Evans, yeah.
Rashee Rice.
Oh, that's not even a question, dude. It's Rashee Rice all day.
How is Rashee Rice wide receiver 20 and JSN is wide receiver 14?
Yeah, I think he will be. I think JSN will be drafted as wide receiver 20 before.
I guess it's interesting if you look. So Sleeper's got Jackson Smith and Jigba at 211,
okay.
And if you look at ESPN, he's at 406. So
I agree with ESPN, which is crazy.
Is this right? Yeah. The casuals have it right. The crazy nerds, the fantasy community over there on Sleeper looks like they're the ones that are overhyping him a bit too much.
Yeah.
And then Cooper Kupp, I have gone back and forth. I'm okay missing out if there's something happens with him. He could pull away with like 7-8 touchdowns and like that'd be enough to carry his season. But I don't know if I'm messing with Cooper Kupp this year.
I'm out. I think he's had a great career. He's 32 years old. Last year, maybe injury. I don't know, but like it's just crazy. You go from wide receiver 9, 22, 13, 15 to 117th, 73, 79, and just done. Like, did you see any reports of them saying, yeah, he got injured at week, whatever it was? What week was it? It looks like 15. Like, I don't remember
No.
seeing anything that they said that he was injured, nothing. It just, I mean, talk about falling off a cliff. That was what happened. So you can gamble. I think people overvalue Cooper Kupp because of the Triple Crown year. He's never been this world beater by any means. He had one really good season.
Look at Michael Thomas. Granted, he didn't have just one good season, but like
Yeah.
after that great season, it fell off completely. Like a historical NFL season, and then it just can fall off after that. Injuries kind of played into his a little bit more, so we're not taking it exactly, but you get what I'm saying, folks.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, are you gonna? I mean, is he gonna be a streaming candidate? You think at some point in the season in this Clint Kubiak offense? Like Derek Carr looked decent.
Yeah, for 2
kicked
weeks.
off
Yeah. Honestly, man, I think the way Seattle structured that contract, they can get out of it after the first season. Like, I think this is kind of like a fill in the Band-Aid. They have all their draft picks. Like,
They also drafted Milton as well. Or no, not Joe. I'm saying
Jalen Milroe.
Jalen Milroe. I was going.
He's Anthony Richardson 2.0. Like, I'm sorry, guys.
He's
like,
a more athletic Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, yes, he is. He is more athletic.
He's more of the twitch than the strength. Like Anthony Richardson's. I mean, you think he'd be hold up to more injuries?
Absolutely, going to do a check down of 10 yards and let me know how it works out for you. It is.
If
bad.
anything, that gives us just the Justin Fields level of excitement as far as the end of the season if he comes in for whatever reason. Biggest fear though, this offensive line is ranked 30th right now. Very young offensive line. Injuries have plagued it, but Sam Darnold. We've seen him before. He sees ghosts. I think I've seen a handful. They've got scary stories that happen up there in Seattle, so who knows?
Yeah.
7.5 wins is the over. I guess the tight ends we didn't touch on. Fant and Arroyo. They got second year rookie Arroyo. I'm really excited for him in Dynasty, but not this year. Fant, nah.
Yeah, Fant's just never been a thing. I mean, this is his year 4, correct? He's going into his contract year. He's a first round pick.
Is 5 or 6 because he got an extension.
Got the extension. Yeah, I mean,
I want to say he's making a lot of money too. It's a guy who's done like nothing.
Good to see you, man. Get the bag. Yeah, if we're expecting a year 5 breakout, then sure. I mean, but
not in this.
I'll bet against that. I like Arroyo too as a prospect, but again, there's just a lot of things. Like, I think again, Sam Darnold really benefited from another guy who we can talk about in a draft here, Kevin O'Connell, who I think is a top 5 head coach right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of his quarterbacks that play underneath him just do very well, and I'm gonna say no. If you'd ask me in this win total, I'm gonna bet the under. I think they get 7 wins is like their max for me.
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna go with you. Give me the no. Yeah, Sam Darnold will take the under. Everything else makes me want to take the over, but yeah, give me the under. I bet it's 7 wins. You know who we wouldn't talk about in a best coaches draft? Zach Taylor.
Yeah, I think there'd be some other like prospect coach I'd rather like draft over Zach Taylor.
Yeah, I can't stand them. There's so many coaches I don't like. But we're gonna talk about one I kind of like. Not really. He's a defensive guy, Jonathan Gannon. Let's bring his team to town. It's the Arizona Cardinals. We're gonna talk about here. 8.5 wins is their over under. 8-9 last year, doubled their wins. A couple 4-win seasons prior to that, so
Impressive.
Not too shabby. All coach, OC, and DC are all returning for a third year with the team. I wouldn't quite say that Gannon's looking at a hot seat this year because he did turn it around a good amount this past year, but this offense was not exciting. So I'm ready for them to step it up. I heard they're actually doing a little research. They're going to add some motion to the offense.
I did hear that. Trey McBride mentioned that. Yeah, he was like, we're going to do some motion this year. Like,
right.
Welcome to 21st century NFL, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Let's step it up here. Let's break into the running back talk, though. James Conner, Trey Benson are the 2 names you really need to know for this team. Over the last 2 years, the Cardinals are top 2 in 10-plus and 20-plus runs, despite James Conner leading this offense. So, yet the guy's coming into year 9. We see a huge drop-off in year 9 for running backs. Is it James Conner? Not according to my drafts, because I'm taking him. I don't mind him there in the late teens, early 20s for running backs.
Yeah, it blows my mind that he's still being drafted where he's going when all he does is just produce at like wherever he goes. Like, I know he's had some injuries, but like,
He had cancer. Give him a break, folks.
it's a funny thing too. He's like literally had cancer. It's like I remember people were talking smack. He's like, oh, he's always injured, and it's like James Conner's played more games than Saquon Barkley. Like when it comes down to it, like he's actually healthy for most times. Like I just think, yes, has he missed games like each season? Yes, it's usually one or two. Guys are banged up. Like I don't expect him to be
running backs
perfect.
average, I think 3.5 missed games a year. So
Yeah,
sorry, that's how it is.
yeah. So I love where James Conner is. He potentially might be a my guy for me this year. I don't know. Who knows? It's a little early, but
Hey, you've got no problem taking the older running backs as my guys. You crushed it there with Alvin Kamara last year. So.
Yeah, dude. I will hammer that all day long. You're telling me it's one of their last years? You think they're done? Say less.
RB20. I'd take him over Omari and Hampton and Chuba Hubbard, who are both going a spot and 2 spots ahead of him.
I like Omari Hampton. So
I like Omari and Hampton, but I think there is a bigger than not chance that he has a slower start. You know, he could get a 50-50 split for the first 3 weeks, whereas James Conner, like, they play the Saints and Carolina the first 2 weeks. They could absolutely crush. Weeks 4, 5, and 6, Seattle, Titans, Colts, winnable freaking games. Like, I like the Cardinals to start off the season hot.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I just think when you mention the two names, I just think I'm a big Omari and Hampton fan, and his lingering things have always been like, oh, well, Najee's there. It's like, well, how much better do you think Hampton is than Najee? That's where it comes down to.
Yeah, I get that.
I love James Conner, though. Drafting him, smash button all day long.
As far as the wide receivers, Marvin Harrison, Marvin Harrison Jr., I guess he is 2.
He's 2.
Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, a couple of streamers we were probably talking about on the waiver show at one point. But everybody really wants to know about Marvin Harrison Jr. Folks, it was our freaking fault. When you draft a rookie, the highest a rookie wide receiver's ever gone, at wide receiver 12, disappointments on the horizon. So this year it's pulled back a little bit. We've kind of tempered our expectations. I think there are people going with the post-hype sleeper talk around him, but he's going as wide receiver 18, sandwiched between Mike Evans, Garrett Wilson. Give me your thoughts on Marv.
So Marv is now, I think you got the wrong photo of Marvin because he's a lot bigger, if you haven't noticed. He put on quite a bit of size for his biceps. He's ginormous now.
It's just because he's next to Kyler. He looks small, you know.
This is true. No, like I liked Marvin coming in as a prospect. I thought he played very well. I think everyone just expected him to be this world beater coming out of the gate. And it's like, first off, the Cardinals have always been a run heavy first team. I don't think they were going to try to change that. I mean, they took him 4th overall, but the fantasy community ranked him really high. I think he was like a 14th overall last year. And me and you were both like, that's a little too steep. I don't know if I want to draft that. That's just a lot of capital invested into somebody. And, no offense to Kyler. I know Kyler's a good quarterback, but like, can Kyler supply that type of season for him? And it wasn't going to happen last year. It might happen this year when they add motion to the offense. But I think where Marvin's going right now, I think he's like, 13th wide receiver off the board. I love him as, if he happens to be my wide receiver 1, it's a little sketchy, but I love him as my wide receiver 2.
Yeah, I would be thrilled if I have him as a wide receiver 2. Some draft formats, you might even be able to get him as your wide receiver 3, depending on where he goes. He's going in ESPN. He's going at the back end of the 4th round, so you can get him at the 4 or 5 turn. That's dope. That's dope.
That'd be very nice.
Sleeper, he's going at the end of the 3rd round, so you've got a nice big jump there in between. And folks, no matter where you play, look, we're preferred. We're going to push sleeper on you all day long, but we get it. You're stuck playing your office, folks, and they're on ESPN, so they're not as smart. You got ads shoved down your throat. But just be aware, even if you like a player, ADP might be a little different on your platform, so always pay attention to those things. This offensive line, I think one of the best things here, ranked 31 last year. Warren Sharp has them as 12th best offensive line this year. So that's a huge jump. It's like domino pieces fall there. So the running game obviously gets better, which helps Kyler as far as his time back there. That gives Kyler more time to, see over his offensive line if that's the issue again. So this offensive improvement, I'm really excited for this as long as they can get a little bit more creative. Obviously Gannon's concerned about the defense, which got a huge step up as well.
Yeah, I will say the person that I like the most in this team for best ball is Michael Wilson. I've been smashing Michael Wilson where he's been going in best ball. I think it's past like 200. I think it's like right near the end. I'll take him every single time. He's the second best receiver on this team. He's shown me games where he's had explosive games. He's perfect for that type of format. So I would stress to anybody, if you're near the end, like Michael Wilson's a perfect dart throw.
The tight end, I think this is the cream of the crop of this team is obviously
Yes.
over here. Trey McBride got the bag over this last offseason, so he's making some coin. He will be the focal point of this offense. Only 3 touchdowns last year, one
Yeah, I
of
was going
which
to
he
ask
picked.
you
So
where's the over under on that?
I'm actually not team. There may be a regression, but I could see him under 5 touchdowns this year. I don't think, like, if you look at his career, he has never been a touchdown guy, even going back to college. If you look at, he had 3 touchdowns last year, only 20%
He only had two,
of
by the way.
one he picked up from the end zone.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was that one that was fumbled and he picked up. So he
Oh,
only two
that's right.
receiving
Yeah,
touchdowns,
two
but
receiving
technically he had
touchdowns. Yes.
three.
Yeah.
It's just a situation where I don't know if he'll necessarily regress there, but I love Trey McBride so much more than I do Brock Bowers this year. Why? It's the cost. You can get him just a little bit lower than Brock Bowers, and Trey McBride had more. He was on pace for more targets, more catches, more yards. So even if the touchdowns don't come in that way, I'm okay going with him. In the 18 seasons that Pete Carroll's coached as a head coach, he's never had a receiver clear 100 catches in a season. So if you were looking for Brock Bowers to break that or go somewhere near that, I think Trey McBride has a higher chance. So I am more in love with him over the two, but really you're just splitting hairs between the talent. It's all about the price.
Yeah, like I like McBride, but again, that price is still pretty steep for me. I think he's like what 209, so it's basically late second, early third. I would like him more like the mid third rounds. That's just like I'd feel like all right, like this is kind of like a falling point. I don't want to reach. I don't want to take him at like the value. It's just hard for me with him. Like again, it's just for even with Brock Bowers too. I'm right there with you. I think I could easily see Trey McBride being the tight end one, and I won't be shocked by that.
304 on ESPN for Trey McBride. I
That's
like
where I'll
that
be drafting
price.
him. Yep, I will probably be drafting him there then.
So over the past 2 years, Trey McBride's had 15 end zone targets, fourth among tight ends. Only three touchdowns on those targets, 20% success rate. Yeah, it's not great. I believe Mark Andrews last year was 11 for 15 on red zone target catches. So there's regression his way going back closer to Trey McBride. But touchdowns, if you're thinking he's going to come in for an 8 touchdown season, I think that's Marv's game.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, folks, for my wonderful fat dog in the background. He just does whatever he wants, clearly. So
Hey, he's digging for those Trey McBride shares. That's what he's doing. Looking.
he just does whatever he wants, man. I just live here with him. He does what he wants.
8.5 wins is what we're looking at for the over under. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna go with the under.
Going with the under.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of have to too.
because the
Doesn't
next thing
feel
we'll
fun.
talk about will be a lot easier to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, folks. We got team number 4, the last one. It's weird talking about this team as the
The
worst
worst
team
team
in
in
the
the
division last
division.
year.
Yeah,
But their rest differential last year was not great. Bunch of injuries. They were going into a really hard schedule because they won. It seems like Kyle Shanahan, he is either really freaking good or really freaking bad because he finishes 1 or 4 more often than any other spot in that division.
hey, I'd rather be first if I'm going to go for it. If I suck, then I'd rather be last because I get the best draft capital out of
That
it.
draft
So
pick. Well,
I'm all for it,
unless
actually.
you trade them all for Trey Lance, and then you're kind of
Yeah,
screwed.
woof.
San Francisco 49ers, 6-11 last year. They brought Robert Saleh back. He will be their defensive coordinator. Outside of that, you've got Shanahan, who's been there for the last 8 years calling plays. So he is the OC. It's not too bad. The schedule's supposed to be the best according to Warren Sharp. So they're they're looking like they're coming to bounce back quite a bit this year, and I'm all for it. I absolutely love the pieces that you're working with. I love the prices that we're getting here. So tell me here about some San Francisco 49ers.
Well, first off, like, I think when it comes to San Francisco, right, it starts at the very top. It's Christian McCaffrey. I think that's the biggest. Like, what are you doing? And I talked about it earlier. Like after Jamar, Justin, and CD go, along with Bijan, Jameer, and Saquon go, your draft's really going to start at 107. And honestly, if I'm looking at a dude that can finishes one, he's done it before, I'm probably taking Christian McCaffrey at that 107 turn. And I get they were kind of, they really, tugged on some heartstrings last year with the whole tendonitis thing. Apparently he's healthy, he's running, he's good to go. Um, I'm a believer in CMC until something happens.
Yeah, you want to point to the age? Well, you know what, folks? He's missed 3 seasons in the last 5 years, so that's time he wasn't taking tread off the tires. So I'm okay with it, especially in PPR forms. There's only 4 running backs I'm taking before him. Barkley, Bijan, Gibbs, and Achan. CMC's right there next. I'm taking him over Henry. I'm taking him over Genty. I'm taking over Jonathan Taylor,
Yeah.
Kyren Williams. Ride or die, folks. You don't want to get second. You don't want to get fifth. You don't want to get seventh. You want to win. Yeah, you could get last if you go, potentially if you take CMC number one and your first round pick falters. But when you get it right, that's how you win. You win with league winning players, and that's what CMC is.
Yeah, you got to stop being scared of getting last, because then, like, okay, like, cool, you didn't get last, you got like, eighth place because you drafted somebody else instead of CMC. But like, at the end of the day, like, I'd rather draft somebody to win, or either, like, if I had a coin flip, it's like you can either get Sacco or you can get first. I will flip that coin all day long.
Yeah, I'd rather go after those two spots than any other position. And one of the coolest things about CMC, he plays on Kyle Shanahan's offense. So really the running back's plug and play. If he goes down, you know who you're picking up. Isaac Grindo did a great job last year. Had some injuries. They also drafted Jordan James from Oregon this past year. So he's the next guy we're looking at after Grindo if he goes down. So it's kind of like a no-brainer for me going after CMC.
Yeah, it's. I think we're both on the same page on that.
Yeah, it's really easy to go for. This is where things get a little tricky, folks. We got the wide receivers. So obviously Debo got shipped off to the Commanders in the offseason. Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL and a couple other things this past year. Juwan Jennings came up with the resurgent, just the dominant player that he was this past year with Brock Purdy. Ricky Pearsall, the gunshot wounded first round pick, blew up in championship weeks for us last year. And then Demarcus Robinson comes over as well from the Rams. So,
Rams. Yeah.
just a depth piece is all you're looking at here. So, Brandon Ayuk, I'm not even touching. I'm not even drafting. Even if I have an IR spot, like I don't see him coming back till late October. So, I really don't think I'm missing out much on like letting him go there.
Yeah, I think IU could like. I think he's going to be a slow burn. I think if he comes back in late October, we won't see like him fully healthy till like December. So
Yeah.
then you really that's like all basically you're more than half of fantasy, and it's just like I'll pass on that. And again, like I told Brian in text messages, I need to stop taking injured players. I know
Yep.
they were good at one point, but like we can't guarantee they'll come back to being great.
And even though Brandon Ayuk was all over like top five, top three metrics as far as like separation scores going, whether it be zone, man, inside, outside, he absolutely crushed when I was doing some research into that. He still wasn't producing. So what? And we've seen him have issues before. Earlier there in the rookie contract, there was one season where he was just in the doghouse with Kyle Shanahan and just didn't get any action. So I'm willing to bet against it. If I lose, I'm going to lose. So I'm okay with that. Juwan Jennings, though, Ricky Pearsall, a couple of players I don't mind grabbing. You usually get them as a wide receiver 4-ish. It's a great piece. I love this offense. I want to have pieces of this offense, and that's how you do it and do it really cheap.
Yeah, I'm more. I think you're a Jennings guy. I'm a Pearsall guy. I think I take Pearsall before I take Jennings. I think Jennings has shown flashes of like where he can be great, obviously, but like he also burns you. It's like he is a definition of a coin flip because I'm looking at his game rankings. It's like he finished in week 3 as 1, and then week 4 31, then it was 83, 67, then it was 17-9, then 48, 51, 6, 67, 54, 40. It's just like that's just I don't want to live with that.
There were some things going on. There was a snow or ice game in there. There was a Purdy hurt game because I remember he had 2 back-to-back games that kind of threw off some of his consistency. But
The Rams game was rainy. They played in Miami. That's where Ricky took off though, was in these games here.
yeah,
So yeah, it was just like I'll take the gamble on the dude who was taken in the first round with the first round draft category over a guy who's looming another contract.
so it's funny. So you got Debo with Washington. He's wide receiver 38, and then you have Jennings at 43. Ricky Pearsall at 46 and Brandon Ayuk at 47. So really all these San Francisco wide receivers are in the same spot. Brandon Ayuk going here is ridiculous. If he's not going to give you the first 2, 4, 6 weeks, why would you be drafting against guys that will give you something in this first week? So that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm okay taking like in Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed are sandwiched between the San Francisco wide receivers. So out of that cluster, I guess you're taking your shot there on Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jaden Reed out of all those guys, but yeah, if I had to pick between a San Francisco guy, it's Ricky Pearsall for sure.
Drafting would probably be Jaden Reed and Juwan Jennings. Ricky might be a guy I go look to trade for week 3, week 4, week 5. Maybe he doesn't have a hot of a start. There's a good chance I can pick him up for the a later burn. But
Yeah.
I love taking a shot. Absolutely love it here. George Kittle is probably one of my favorite pieces from this offense too. There are 3 tight ends I really care about drafting this year before rounds 12. And that's it. It's Browers, it's McBride, and it's Kittle. Kittle's going in the 4th round in Sleeper and ESPN, 3rd round there over on Yahoo. But this guy should get absolutely fed as far as like yards per route run. Yeah, it's a little skewed because he does a lot of blocking, but this guy absolutely dominates. Absolutely freaking dominates.
He actually does. Like I was like kind of like looking at his game ranks. He ranked 10. He's all green, by the way, except for week 13 and week 18. He literally was top 12 all last season. It's insane. Like, and he's the 3rd ranked tight end, which again, Brian, I tell you at the end of the year, George Kittle was tight end 1 over Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. Are you shocked?
No, I've got all 3 of them in the same tier.
Yeah.
They're like
So,
right there for me.
and yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. Like, 'cause I mean, obviously Brock Bowers is great. He did what he did with, terrible play at quarterback. Trey McBride has been tight end 2, always been a bridesmaid, but George Kittle has been tight end 1 before. And so I can gamble on that again happening.
And as easy as the schedule is, folks, their worst like positional group they have is their secondary. It's not great. The rest of this team is really freaking good, especially the offense. Front 7 is, but secondary is not great. So that's awesome. Let's get some high.
But they also
points.
got
Let's get
Robert
some
Saleh
overs.
back, though. They did
They
get a
did.
good defensive quarterback. So
They did, so that should help. But even so, some of these younger players out there, let's get some busted plays. Let's get some 45, 50, 55-point over-unders.
how you feel about Brock Purdy, though, as a quarterback?
I like him a lot. He is jumping from anywhere from QB 10 to QB 14 for me, depending on maybe the scoring format or just the mood that I'm in. How'd the poop come out that morning? It's kind of where it's lying for Purdy. So I'm definitely interested into him. The section of quarterback that you're getting where he's going, like him, the Dax, the Caleb Williams, I'm good with any of those guys.
Okay.
What about you? You cool with them?
Yeah, I think like if I would love for him as a streaming option, but I just think he's going to be
Yeah.
owned. He's going to be owned for sure. So it's just hard to do that. But like, man, his highs are very high, man. He's very consistent. He's just a top 10 quarterback. I think we need to like really start recognizing that, regardless if he's in Shanahan's system or not.
Yeah, you're taking him there in the 9th round, which, it's before guys like Jared Goff, right around Kyler Murray,
Out of their own
Justin Herbert.
him. Yeah, out of their own Brock Purdy over all the guys you just mentioned.
I'd be okay with him or Kyler, but I love taking
besides
him.
Kyler, yeah, I'd have Kyler before Brock. I mean, emphasize that. Yeah,
But like I'd take him, and then you can come back with a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who starts off the season with 2 really good games, or JJ McCarthy, or I'm probably taking 2 quarterbacks in both my leagues this year based on who I'm taking, and it's wild times here happening. Strategy as far as football, it's changing. It always is, folks. This team, what are we at for the over/under? It's 10.5 wins.
over.
Yeah, smashing that over.
We both saw their game schedule, and you said, "Oh man, this is what happens when you get last place in your division."
Right, that's why Kyle Shanahan
schedule.
does it. So that next year is a bounce back for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's do it. So before we get out of here, then go ahead and rank these 4 teams. How does this division finish out this year?
I think San Francisco wins it. I think San Francisco. It's just off their schedule alone. Like I think they split their division. That division always beats itself up. I think it goes San Francisco, L.A., Arizona, and then Seattle.
Well,
Yeah,
no fun. No fun. I'm picking the same thing. Give me Arizona at 3, Seattle at 4. Give me the Niners to win this division this year. It's kind of feels dumb not to go with it, despite the Rams played very well. I've got more faith in this offense holding it together than Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. That's awesome, man. That wraps it up. Folks, get ready. We've got a mock draft coming out for you here in just a few days. If you did miss the AFC West, go check it out over on the Fantasy Football Advice Network, where we've got other half of the shows. Or if you're here on the podcast feed, you get them all. You don't have to worry about bouncing. It's all here. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, doing what you have to do on the YouTube side. Also, give us a help out on the podcast side. A review, 5 stars, whatever you have, wherever you're at. And stay tuned. We've got our, let's call it the Listener League. The Too Much League will be dropping here. It's going to be free for you guys to come join us, play with us. It's going to be a $100 payout for the winner in that league. And of course, all it's going to take, give us a review. You give us a review, you send us a screenshot, we'll put you in that league with us, play with us all season, and playing for a lovely $100 win. Brennen, if the people are looking for more of you, where can they find you?
Trying to get Too Much B-Milk on X, so that's where I'd be.
And then
Creeping.
it's at too much _ Brian if you're looking for me, at too much _ FF if you're looking for our the Too Much page. You put it all together, folks. You know how this works. But until next time, we'll see y'all later.